Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called Armor Attack, and this was created by Cinematronics and Tim Skelly in 1980. But also, this is a re-upload of my 200th YouTube video. Happy, joy. So, as was customary with every 100th video I did, we are going to go back in time to the year of the game in this video, which would be 1980. So let's take the Crazy Climber 80 DeLorean and go back to 1980. Starting with news events. Summer Olympics are in Moscow. 82 different countries, including the U.S., boycott the games due to the USSR invasion of Afghanistan the previous year. And then USSR would boycott the U.S. games in L.A. in 1984. Also, Sicily President Piersanti Mattarella is killed by the mafia. President Carter loans $1.5 billion to bail out Chrysler Corporation. A collapsing bull ring in Colombia kills at least 200. Rubik's Cube makes its international debut in London. The Spanish embassy in Guatemala is invaded and burned. 36 die. 33 inmates are killed in New Mexico State Penitentiary riots. The 1980 Winter Olympics are held in Lake Placid, New York. Guerrillas seize the Dominican embassy in Colombia and hold 60 hostage. 50 are killed at the Plesetsk Cosmodrome in Russia by a faulty rocket. A Norwegian oil platform sinks in the North Sea, killing 123. One-legged runner Terry Fox begins his Marathon of Hope from Newfoundland, Canada. Rosie Ruiz's Boston Marathon victory is exposed as a fraud when she joins the race late. Operation Eagle Claw fails when choppers collide, killing 8 troops. They were trying to rescue the U.S. hostages in Tehran. Dan Air Flight 1008 crashes in Tenerife, killing all 146. Yugoslav President Josip Broz Tito dies. A Liberian freighter hits a bridge in Tampa Bay. 35 die. Big news in the Pacific Northwest. Mount St. Helens erupts in Skamania County, Washington. 57 die. There was ashes scattered for miles and miles and miles. Pac-Man is released in Japan by Namco and licensed to Bally Midway in the U.S. Huge arcade smash hit, perhaps the biggest of all time. Military and protesters clash in South Korea. 2,000 protesters die. The channel CNN is launched. Tornadoes hit Grand Island, Nebraska, and cause over $300 million in damage. A massive heat wave hits the U.S. and kills 1,700. I remember it getting hot right around then. Ronald Reagan is nominated the 40th President of the United States. Saudi Flight 163 catches fire, killing 301 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The Iran-Iraq war begins. Terrorist bombing in Munich kills 13, injures hundreds. Occurs during Oktoberfest. A 7.1 earthquake hits North Algeria, killing 2,633 to 5,000. A fire at the MGM Grand Hotel in Vegas kills 85. The Who Shot JR episode on Dallas draws a record number of viewers for November 21st. A 6.9 earthquake in southern Italy kills 2,483 to 4,900. Beatles member and founder John Lennon is shot to death outside his New York apartment by Mark David Chapman. Big news. 4 armed robbers kill 4 and injure 4 at a Bob's Big Boy in Los Angeles. And a U.S. missionary and 3 U.S. nuns are murdered in El Salvador while doing charity work. Well, now we're going to look at some famous celebrity deaths. Frank Wyckoff, Jimmy Durante, Professor Longhair, David Jansen, Bon Scott of AC/DC, Jay Silverheels, Tonto, Jesse Owens, Red Sovine, Jean-Paul Sartre, Mario Bava, Alfred Hitchcock, George Pal, Lillian Roth, Ian Curtis of Joy Division, Henry Miller, Terence Fisher, Bert Kempfert, Peter Sellers, Bobby Van, Strother Martin, Dorothy Stratton, murdered, Tex Avery, John Bonham of Led Zeppelin, Steve McQueen, Conn Smythe, Mae West, George Raft, Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Peter Collinson. Next, we're going to look at TV show debuts of 1980. 3, 2, 1, Contact, Chain Reaction, Mystery, That's Incredible, Flow, Fridays, Solid Gold, Cosmos, Thundar the Barbarian, Blockbusters, Las Vegas Gambit, It's a Living, Richie Rich, Too Close for Comfort, Bosom Buddies, and Magnum P.I. And now we're going to look at major films of 1980. The Star Wars smash hit Empire Strikes Back, 9 to 5, Airplane, a great comedy, Ordinary People, Oscar winner, Stir Crazy, Private Benjamin, The Blues Brothers, Smokey and the Bandit 2, The Blue Lagoon, Coal Miner's Daughter, Friday the 13th, the first movie, Any Which Way You Can, The Shining, Raging Bull, Melvin and Howard, Kagemusha, Gloria, Atlantic City, American Gigolo, The Big Red One, Caddyshack, funny movie, Dressed to Kill, good movie, The Elephant Man, Fame, Flash Gordon, The Fog, Humanoids from the Deep, trash classic, The Long Good Friday, My Bodyguard, The Ninth Configuration, Return of the King, Seems Like Old Times, The Stuntman, and Used Cars. And now we're going to look at some bad movies of 1980. The Jazz Singer, Can't Stop the Music, Xanadu, The Gong Show Movie, Popeye, Hangar 18, Heaven's Gate, Raise the Titanic, Without Warning, and The Children. That one was really bad. Now let's look at some number 1 songs of 1980. Well, all of them. Please Don't Go, Escape the Pina Colada Song, Rock With You, Do that to me one more time. Crazy little thing called love. Another brick in the wall. Call me. Funky Town. Coming up. It's still rock and roll to me. Magic. Sailing. Upside down. Another one bites the dust. Woman in love. Lady. And just like starting over. And now let's look at some other hits of 1980. The Rose. Cars. Working My Way Back to You. Lost in Love. Little Genie. All Out of Love. Ride Like the Wind. Shining Star. With You I'm Born Again. Xanadu. Steal Away. Biggest Part of Me. Late in the Evening. Longer. Take Your Time, Do It Right. An American Dream. Pilot of the Airwaves. Tired of Towing the Line. Give Me the Night. Into the Night. JoJo. Brass in Pocket. Stomp. Hymn. Against the Wind. Fire Lake. Fame. Romeo's Tune. Let My Love Open the Door. I'm Alright. Let Me Love You Tonight. Misunderstanding. Woman. You May Be Right. More Than I Can Say. Refugee. Love on the Rocks. America. Back in Black. And Driving My Life Away. Now let's look at sports of 1980. Top news. USA wins gold in the Olympics. Miracle on Ice was the stunning upset of the Soviets on the way to the gold. Super Bowl 14. Pittsburgh Steelers beat the LA Rams 31-19 at the Rose Bowl. NBA Finals. Rookie Magic Johnson leads the LA Lakers to beat the Philadelphia 76ers 4-2. The World Series. Philadelphia Phillies win their first title. They beat the Kansas City Royals 4-2. Stanley Cup. New York Islanders win their first of 4 straight titles. They beat Philadelphia 4-2. NCAA football. Alabama beats Arkansas 24-9 in the Sugar Bowl for the national championship. NCAA basketball. Louisville beats UCLA 59-54 in the title game. Boxing. 22 USA Olympic team members die in a plane crash near Warsaw. Larry Holmes beats Muhammad Ali in the 11th round for a KO to retain the heavyweight title. That was Ali's last major title fight. Roberto Duran defeats Sugar Ray Leonard for the WBC welterweight title, and then Leonard wins later in the year in a rematch. Golf. Masters champ is Steve Ballesteros. U.S. Open champ is Jack Nicklaus. British Open champ is Tom Watson. And the PGA champ is also Jack Nicklaus. A little tennis. U.S. Open men's champ is John McEnroe. U.S. Open women's champ is Chris Evert. Men's Wimbledon champ is Bjorn Borg. And women's Wimbledon champ is Yvonne Goolagong Cawley. Well, that was our look at 1980, and now we're going to look at Armor Attack. And this is kind of an interesting little military strategy game. It's kind of unplayable without the color overlay. You are a Jeep, You can play one player or two players simultaneous play, and you want to hide behind these little buildings here and be able to nail the tanks and the chopper that come after you. The chopper can fly right over the buildings to get to you. The tanks have to go around to get to you. You can have two shots on the screen at once, and the tanks and chopper only shoot one shot at a time. But learn where's a good place to hide so that you can get a bead on the tanks and they have to get around a building to get to you. Now, I guess the tanks need to be shot twice. There's like the turret still remaining, and it can still shoot at you on the later rounds. But one shot will kill your Jeep. Now, the scoring is the tanks are 20 apiece. The turret remaining is 30, and there's a bonus added if you kill the chopper. The chopper is 50, and it advances the turret bonus by 10 points. And if the turret bonus reaches 50, you get an extra life, and then the bonus resets. But yeah, just later rounds will have the tanks be much faster and be much smarter. If you're at the right edge of a building, then a tank is going to approach from the left side, and vice versa, so keep that in mind. Yeah, the tanks will kill you if you run into them, even the remaining turret. You can go through the chopper, it's flying overhead, but don't run into the tanks. And once you destroy all the tanks and the chopper, then new ones will emerge. It's pretty simplistic in terms of gameplay, but there's a little bit of a fetching strategy in terms of trying to hide behind the buildings and just try to get to where you can get a clear shot at the tanks. Now, if the best way to destroy the chopper, I guess, is if you're like touching a building. The chopper has to fly over the building to be able to get to you. And if you wail on the fire button as you're like touching the building, the chopper will often not have enough time to shoot at you. We're going to play a little bit of a two-player action. Two-player simultaneous action. It's kind of interesting that their scores are combined. You see I think your separate scores and a combined score. Kind of interesting. I'm not particularly great at this. I did see this in arcades all over the place. But that was Armor Attack by Tim Skelly and Cinematronics in 1980. Well, I hope you liked that and our look at the year 1980. Well, this is Crazy Clown Rays, and thanks for watching 1980 plus Armor Attack. I will catch you later in the future with another video. Have a great one, everybody, and enjoy the beginning of the football season. Bye-bye.